Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this UAE Innovates session. My name is Yrjo Lappalainen. I'm a data services librarian here at Zayed University Library. And today I will present the ZU Scholars project with my colleague Nikesh. And this is a brief introduction of 15 minutes. And there's also a live demo in the end, and also time for some questions and comments. And I have now started the recording. And let me share my screen. Can you see the presentation now?
Yes.
Okay, so here is the agenda for this presentation. First of all, I will introduce the ZU Scholars and what are the objectives of this project and current state, and also looking ahead a little bit because we already have some improvements planned for the future as well. And I would like to highlight that we are still in the project phase. Even though the system is online and it can be accessed already, but it's not complete yet. So in the coming weeks and months, there will be more updates and changes on the site, and the official launch of the repository will be later. Okay. So what is ZU Scholars? It's the Zayed University's institutional repository. So it's a showcase for research, scholarship, creative work by members of Zayed University community. And this includes the entire community from faculty to students. So if anyone publishes or produces some kind of an output here in Zayed University, it can be deposited in the repository. And here's an image of the repository. But as I mentioned, Nikesh will also show you a live demo at the end of this session. And what are the objectives of this system? First of all, to collect and showcase Zayed University's intellectual output in one portal. Because we haven't had such a portal at Zayed University before. So for the first time, all outputs will be displayed in one place. So this will make it a lot easier to find research, and you will be able to browse by college or authors or disciplines, for example. And you can also narrow down to Scopus indexed works and open access works, for example. And another important objective is to preserve the scholarly output. So once something has been deposited, we at the library will make sure that it stays there and is accessible in the future as well. And promoting research and scholarship of faculty and students to a broader audience, because anyone can access this site. And of course, to increase the visibility and status of Zayed University research. And a very important objective is to support open access, because this system will be a platform for the green open access route. This means self-archiving accepted authors' manuscripts. So that is the final version that researchers send to the publisher. And many publishers allow this version to be archived in a repository. And here the library will also provide support in this. So we will check the publisher's policies and make sure that self-archiving is allowed by the publisher, because publishers and journals have all kinds of policies on this, but the library will help researchers and check these on behalf of them. Okay, and here are the different content types that can be added in the system. You can see that there's all kinds of scholarly output. For example, articles, books, book chapters, dissertations, theses, patents, working papers, student works, conference proceedings, and so on. And also research datasets can be saved in the system. So many different types. And what are the benefits? First, from the faculty point of view, first of all, it increases the visibility of research. Also, it improves rankings in Google and Google Scholar because these repositories have a very good search engine visibility. And these links are usually at the top of the search results. And also, it provides opportunities for collaboration outside of academia, since, of course, a larger audience can find and access these outputs. And also, it makes all contents available in a single location. And from the student point of view, of course, there are many benefits for students as well. Again, it makes research available outside of academia, including to potential employers. So students can easily share and showcase their works through the repository. And also, they will be able to view past works in their program to get ideas and potential sources for their own work. And once again, the repository is a stable home for these works. So we at the library will make sure that they stay there once they have been submitted. And these theses and other student works are currently in the planning stages. So unfortunately, they are not yet available, but we will try to include those as soon as possible. The current status of the project is that we have added Scopus indexed works with a link to the publisher's platform, DOI link. So if you are using Zayed University credentials, you can usually access the full text at the publisher's site. Or if you are from another organization and you have subscription to that service, you can also access it through the DOI link. Also, we have added some full texts for working papers already. And currently, we are adding more works and additional metadata from Scival, Dimensions, Lens, and Unpaywall. So the system has functionality for importing works from Scopus, but we are also collecting data from these additional sources. And so far we have found over 4,000 Zayed University works. So starting all the way from the early days of this university. And we will be adding everything that we find from these online databases. And of course, the goal in a repository is to have as many full texts as possible. So we will be adding more full text content next. And we have already found almost 600 Zayed University publications with a Creative Commons license. So we will add those into the system shortly. And this license, of course, enables these articles to be used freely, even though it's the publisher's version. It can be used freely. And also single sign-on will be implemented later. So the faculty will be able to log in using their ZU credentials. Unfortunately, we don't have a timeline for this yet. And right now, nobody except us can log in yet. But hopefully we can also implement this soon. And the next big step will be self-archiving publications and also research datasets. So researchers will be able to submit works into the system on their own. So, and usually it's the accepted author manuscript that can be submitted. And we also need to develop a process for collecting these manuscripts from researchers, because only researchers have those versions. Unfortunately, we usually cannot download them from anywhere. So faculty will have to send those versions to the library. And also for this purpose, we are drafting an institutional open access policy that will support self-archiving. And also looking ahead a little bit, there will also be an expert gallery. So each researcher will have a profile of their own that they can display and share. This is actually a separate product, but there is an integration between the repository and the gallery. So the works can be imported from the repository. And finally, the system can also be used as a journal publishing platform. So it has functionality for managing a journal. But right now we are focusing on the repository part, but this is something that we will definitely explore in the near future as well. Okay, and here's an image of the expert gallery. So this is what it will look like. So there will be profiles with basic information and also disciplines and research interests, and of course the list of works for each researcher as well. So the point of this gallery is to display what kind of expertise we have here, and also to make it easier to find experts from different fields and specific research interests. Okay, and now I will hand it over to Nikesh, who will show a live demo of the site.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Yrjo. So let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, perfectly.
All right, okay. So thanks. Now I'll take you through a live demo of the site. Here is the URL of the site, zuscholars.zu.ac.ae. As Yrjo mentioned, we haven't announced this site yet. It is still in the project stage, but we will be announcing soon. So, but still you can access the site through this URL, zuscholars.zu.ac.ae. And here is the homepage of the site. And this site is a part of a big network called a Digital Commons Network. That means various other universities across the world are using the same platform, and you can search across all repositories. For example, if you search for robotics, you can search either in our repository or across all repositories. So this would provide, or this would give more visibility to our content. For example, other university users can search our content and our scholars would get more visibility. So this site has got some robust search and browse features, and we would see some of the examples. For example, let me search for robotics in our repository. I have got 18 results and with a link to the full text of the article. As Yrjo mentioned in his presentation, currently we haven't provided the full text here. So you need to go to the publisher's site and download the full text. So in the same way, you can search across all repositories. This would give you more results. Let me search for robotics itself. And there are more than 58,000 results. And you can filter those results for thesis and dissertations or electronic thesis and dissertation, graduate thesis and dissertation, etc. For example, let me filter it for thesis and dissertations. Now I have 1464 results, and you can download those results directly from this site. The same way, our content will be visible to other university users. And as I mentioned, that would give more visibility to our content. And regarding the browse features, we have given some of the important browse categories here in the central part of the site. For example, research article, ZU journals, working papers, and conference proceeding. This ZU journal is just a hyperlink to our journal site. You can see this is not part of, actually it is not part of our ZU Scholars repository, but other content like research articles, working papers, and conference proceedings are part of this repository. For example, let me click for research articles. So the content is organized based on year. You can jump to 2020 or 2009. So which year you want to browse, and the articles are listed here. So the same way, if you click on the articles, that would give you a link to the full text. And in addition to that, you would get more details about the articles here, document type, publication date, DOI, and the authors. If you click on the author, that would give you to the author page, and you can see the other articles or other works by the same author. And also a plum matrix. It's an alternative matrix. You would see how many times the abstract views and how many times your article is downloaded and how many times it is shared in social media like Facebook, Twitter, etc. For this particular article, only abstract views are there. But in other cases, if you have some other, sorry. So if this article has like downloads, that would be visible here. So let me go back to the main page. So we have another browse options like Scopus indexed works, open access works. This open access works, we have around 500 open access content or open access articles. So you can directly download without giving any credentials. And collections means we arrange the content based on the colleges. For example, College of Business. You can see how many articles published by business faculties, how many books, book chapters, conference proceeding, etc. Let me click on the articles. So the same way it is arranged based on the year 2021, 2020, etc. And the same way you can go to other department and see their publications. So that's about collections. And regarding disciplines, so we have categorized the content in main 8 disciplines. But in future, we will have more disciplines, sub-disciplines also. And here you can see how many works under arts and humanities, under life sciences. We have 415 works under life sciences and around 1166 others. And physical science, 397 works. And most of them are computer science. For example, if you go to sub-disciplines, you can see here computer science 395, mathematics 1, and 6 others. So this is not very comprehensive. We will be adding more authors and more works near future. Sorry. And in the other corner, actually we haven't provided the needed information here. It's in progress. So we will provide the author FAQ and how to submit a research. Yrjo talked about self-archive of documents. So all the procedure will be given here. And in addition to the browse categories that we provided here, we provided more content type categories like articles, book chapters, conference proceedings, patents, working papers, etc. So these are all about browse categories. And this site has got some other very interesting features like at a glance, top 10 downloads all the time, and recent edition, 20 most recent editions, and also paper of the day. This is an automatic pickup by the system itself. So one paper will be displayed here. And another interesting feature is the live readership map. So you can view here if if your paper or other papers are accessed across the world. For example, you can see how many downloads, total downloads, and how many downloads in the past year, etc. And also if some live reader is here, that would show from which part of the world he accessed our site. So this is really a very good feature. And also here you have a subject wheel. If you click on this subject wheel, you can view for example, in education, how many papers, and social and behavioral science, how many papers. So you can click on the subject and see the details. So that's all about the search and browse features and other interesting options available on this site. And we are open to questions now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nikesh. Are there any questions from the audience? Questions or comments or any kind of feedback?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
I would like to thank Nikesh first of all about his presentation. I just would like, because I don't know any information before about ZEO scholarship, and I would like to ask, is it like academia? Is it like Google Scholar? For me, I can put my information in ZEO Scholar and upload my published works. That's what I would like to make sure about. Sorry, because I am not attending the session from the beginning. Thank you.
Yrjo, can you answer?
Yes, so ZEO Scholars is an institutional repository. So for example, academia.edu, even though you can upload your full text there, it is not an institutional repository. So this is maintained by the library, and we will also check everything that is submitted. So once researchers can access the system and upload their full text files, we will also check all of them. So we will make sure that there is no copyright issues or anything, because as I mentioned, publishers and journals have very different policies for self-archiving. So we will help faculty on that.
So when I create my page, then upload my works and put the information, it will not be published until take the approval from you, right?
Yes, we will check it first.
Okay, but in general, يعني, I used to upload my published works, like my page in academia. In Google Scholar, you know, I do not upload anything in Google Scholar. Just put the information only about my bibliographies. So now I can create account for me, or I can create account for me in GeoScholar based on my username and based on my strong username and password. Then start to put the information and upload the published works, but it will not be published in ZU scholarship until get the approval from you, right?
Yeah, actually, we will be creating accounts for all ZU faculty automatically. Yeah. So when we connect our system with the single sign-on, your account will be created automatically, and you will get necessary rights to upload your articles. And please be noted that in ZU Scholars, only ZU affiliated articles will be accepted. For example, if you work, previously worked for some other organization and you published some other affiliated articles, that would not be included in ZU Scholars. Only ZU affiliated articles.
Only ZU affiliated articles.
Yes. Yeah, it's our institution repository.
Not any articles or book chapters or chapters published in other place.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Wow.
Nikesh, maybe you can show the author's page to see what Dr. Bashar has, so he can have an idea what kind of publications he has already in the repository.
All right.
Yeah, so he knows where to look for. Maybe he has some other publications that we haven't included, and then he can talk to you and Yrjo to include those.
Oh,
yeah, I think the author's page we haven't shown yet, so that's probably the easiest way for our faculty to find out what they have in the repository.
All right. Okay. Let me share my screen. 1 minute. All right. Okay. Let me share my screen. 1 minute. For example, actually, I forgot to show you the browse by authors. So if you click on the authors, you can browse. For example, let me click on, or I can search for or let me show you first other author. So for example, Tarek Abdullah. So here is the author page. So he has total 4 articles. So actually, he hasn't created his account. We have uploaded all the articles which are indexed in Scopus as a beginning, but in future, we will add more articles which are not indexed in Scopus also. As Yrjo mentioned, we would take it from other sources like Lens or some other sources. And let me search for your authorship. Let me 1 minute. For example, if you go to advanced search and you can search for the author, B-A-S-H-I-R. So I have searched for Bashir. For example, and if I sort by
Ms. Bashir Abul Karaya.
Can you?
Yes, I will write it here in chat.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's showing 0 account. So let's search, like, let's check whether your articles are indexed properly. So currently we have taken only from Scopus. So
Yes.
we will take from other sources also. We will check and let you know whether what's the reason why it is not indexed.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. So in future, actually, we will be sending communication to all faculty members if any of the articles, ZU affiliated articles are not indexed, then we will provide them a form to submit the details, or they can submit by themselves. So that's the idea. Once the single sign-on integration is integrated, and you can check in the repository, and if your article is not indexed, you can submit by yourself.
Okay then, so if there are no more questions or comments, then I think we can wrap up this session. So thank you very much for attending.